What's good? What's good, people? What's goody? I apologize, people. I got a serious issue with time, bro. I don't manage time very well. I don't manage time very well at all. But we got some serious things to talk about, man. We have some serious topics to talk about and discuss. Because I did a video and I told you guys, my brother Clay in the building.
Salute. Back at it again.
What's up, family?
Chilling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I seen the smell. I feel I have a responsibility to say this. I know Tank fans are gonna say, well, what happened with Devin Haney, right? As far as when he had his allegations, or he's dealing with his situation right now as far as between him and his baby mother. And why is this so, why are we covering Tank Davis
right.
in this capacity and not covering Devin Haney in the same capacity, right? And I think it's fair, right? I think at the end of the day, both these gentlemen are dealing with some domestic issues. Me personally, I don't care either way. It's not my business, but I will say this: the right is too. I think as far as boxing is concerned, if we're going to be honest about it, and people can take it for what it is, one is affecting one's boxing career and the other one isn't, right?
Right.
When we're looking at one point in the conversation, we're dealing with somebody who's dealing with certain issues, but has a fight scheduled coming up November 22nd. Doesn't seem to be derailing them, altering their schedule. That right there, is what they're dealing with. I don't know if this would be getting covered as far as Tank Davis' side of it if Tank's fight with Lamont Roach was announced for August 16th a month ago, right? Yeah. Or at least a month ago, right? That would still be tight, but at least a month ago. But clearly, one fighter's career is being affected by the outside politics of what the decisions that are being made and what's going on with their personal life. So I do think covering boxing, this is boxing talk. Right. But just to kind of put it out there, not that it'll make a difference for whoever it doesn't need, for whoever it doesn't make a difference for, I didn't expect it to make a difference for you. But one is separate from the other, I think, without a doubt.
Right. And the thing is, right, Clay, when you say that, here's the thing is that it's allegations with Devin, right? This young lady, there's a track record, right? And there's a arrest, and there was you actually physically went to jail already for situations, right? So, and like you said, and it's affecting your career. With Devin Haney, we see that this young lady it's allegations, right? We see no physical proof. We see no, we know they had a spat about the kids, and then all of a sudden she came out and she's scared, so on and so forth. But
from what I understand, what's today's date? The 22nd?
The 22nd, yes.
So I think they're in court today. I think there's some sort of a court thing going on today with Devin's situation. I don't know if he's in court. I don't know if his lawyer's representing it, but whatever that is, that's exactly what I want to do my truck. Whatever is happening there, is getting figured out in court. There something happened between him and his baby mother, without a doubt. But I guess for me, like I said, either way, I don't care. For me, is Tank going to be active or not? As far as that's where it starts and ends for me. Is okay, so he's not fighting. For me, okay, who's Lamont fighting next? Then what's going on with Lamont? You see Calvin and Kenny. Rumors are that they've left the camp in Florida and they've gone back to doing whatever they're doing in Baltimore. Tank's not training. That's what the rumor is. So it's safe to say the fight is not happening. Not to mention no announcements is made. We're about to run into August in the next week or so. August is here. The fight is not happening. He can't be in a conversation of fights happening until this thing right here gets ironed out. Clearly, because of this specifically, he can't be in the conversations of fights happening. Am I correct? Like, nobody wants to sign a contract, take a chance on anything happening, because the outcome of this is going to make the biggest difference as far as how much of Tank Davis we're going to see within the next coming months, maybe even year or two. Right? That's what the argument is at the end of the day. So, listen, he's not in the conversation of 135 pounds right now. He can't be because of this situation he's going through. You know what I mean? And I guess also Shakur is also made a statement that he's not planning on coming back until 2026. So Lamont Roach, I think should look to be active, right? Is the rumor Isak Cruz? Is that what the rumor is, or has that been announced?
Yeah, that's the well, Lamont said that.
That he's chasing Isak?
Yeah, well, he said that so he went and took the Twitch and he said on his Twitch that don't be surprised if he fighting Isaac Cruz next.
Okay.
And don't say I didn't tell you so. That's what he said.
Oh, that's love right there. I think that's a great fight for Lamont. I think
and hold on, let me finish telling you this. And then a close person to him yesterday told me that he also is promised a fight by the PBC to replace Tank. And somebody from PBC told me that they're interested in making the Pitbull Lamont Roach fight if Pitbull can't get a title opportunity. So go ahead.
No, 100%. I like the sound of that. And shout out to Dev22. Yeah, that's what I figured, some sort of court. I wasn't saying it was criminal court. I don't know if it's criminal, something, family court, I guess. Yeah, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But more importantly for me, it doesn't affect his career. So it is none of my, I don't care. I'm not going to do this is, and I'm speaking to certain people because I know how people are feeling about. They want to compare it, but it's not apples to apples, right? This is apples to carrots or Idaho potatoes. Like, it's just completely two different conversations. I would say apples or oranges, but we'd still say they were fruit. This is not even the same thing. This is one who's dealing with the threat of time in prison. His consequences literally make it to where he's not eligible or available to be included in 135-pound business. He's not somebody I could speak about and put him in fights, ask what it would look like with this. He can't do nothing. So it becomes relevant because it crosses over into the boxing space as far as what we are here to talk about. As far as Devin's family court situation, him dealing with his baby mother with bad text messages, or something that has it where he has to kind of figure out how to deal with his child. That's not my business. I'm not going to talk about that. And I'm really not going to talk about Tank that much, except for the fact that, we can't see him fight. That's an issue. You know what I'm saying? That's an issue for the boxing space. It is what it is. Different.
It has derailed fights.
Well, he's a champion. He's a WBA champion, and he has that belt tied up, and we can't see 135-pound
unifications
and things like that move on because of that.
I would like to see, and I'm not trying to be insensitive to Tank's situation, but it's self-inflicted at the same time. But I would like to see, since Lamont Roach is the WBA champion at 130, I would like to actually see him get the opportunity to fight for the belt and put Tank in champion in recess. He don't even care about belts. So place him as champion in recess, and let's get Lamont Roach versus Isaac Cruz for the vacant WBA title.
I think it should be Floyd Schofield Jr. and Lamont Roach personally.
I like that.
He's actually the mandatory for Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? I think they should treat it the same way, right? That's the same way they treated Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes, right? It is what it is. The WBA's already threatened to, all they have to do is activate a mandatory. And if Tank can't defend the mandatory, then ultimately, I don't even know if it needs to be a champion in recess, to be honest with you, right? But it can be a champion in recess without it. And that way, Tank has to fight the winner between Floyd Schofield Jr. and Lamont Roach when he gets back from his situation. If the WBA chooses to handle it that way, I don't know. But I think the WBA should take a page out of the WBO's book and the IBF's book, and they should be concerned about their title being involved in big fights. Well, this title's just tied up. This man is dealing with personal issues. Let's let the business of the lightweight division continue to move forward, and let's see you guys step up for boxing. Put boxing up like the WBO is doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I you know what? I don't know, because they was already correlated with one another. Cameron Fields, piece of blessings, Queen. Goat 95, what's up? D-Boy Dad, what's up, family? That's why I said Isaac Cruz, because he's already talking about Isaac Cruz, and he's already saying that the PBC. It kind of comes across to me as that PBC is just trying to make up for Tank's situation to him, and they offering up. Yeah, they offering up.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, they're like
on the street. You know that,
right? And here's the thing: Floyd Schofield's with Golden Boy, right? If he goes and fights Floyd Schofield and they get that belt, let's say he beats Floyd Schofield, is he now going to be shadow banned from the PBC situation? Because what I mean, he participated in pushing Tank to the side. You know what I'm saying? Because the PBC, they could eat off Lamont Roach. Right, like it's like we gave you this opportunity. You got newfound fame, status. Your stock is very high because we gave you this opportunity. Now you take that stock and you go, because let's face it, he's gonna have to go with Turkey and Golden Boy and DAZN, and he's free, right? So he goes over there, and now you competing over there, and now it's like, we gave you this opportunity, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now because they can't eat off them. They won't be able to eat off them in that situation.
Well, that would be a situation, in my opinion, Blue, where the PBC would have to pursue some sort of a deal with Lamont Roach. I don't know what kind of deal they have with Lamont Roach. From my understanding, right now at this moment, I don't know that Lamont Roach is a PBC fighter right now or not. I know he signed with the PBC for that deal to fight against Tank. But
he's not.
He's not. So that situation is where the PBC has to come to the table and offer Lamont Roach something that makes sense, that would at least get them involved in a conversation in the same capacity of, let's say, David Benavidez, right? Where it's like, we're in the conversation, but we're allowing you to go over here and make that happen. Yeah, look, Lamont Roach will be definitely taking a big step. As far as his relationship with the PBC, it probably might be altered, but I think Turkey also leverages it to the point to where I don't know he needs to care. You know what I mean? Like, if he's able to go over there and do the work he needs to do, and all he has to do is give a performance. He can lose and still be good as an ambassador of Ring Magazine, right? Or no, hold on. Let me pump the brakes, Blue, because Turkey has expressed indifference with the Schofield brand. Doesn't seem to be wanting to finance Schofield business.
That's true.
So,
that's true. That's very true. That could be an issue too. But Turkey did say in Saudi.
Yes.
Right. So maybe
magazine might be a different conversation.
Right. Maybe here in the States, and he may not invest in it as a main event, right? But maybe as a on the undercard, you know what I'm saying? Give you an opportunity to redeem yourself type of situation.
I think it's something for Turkey to take into consideration and think about, because it seems like he wants to put something together that makes sense for Shakur. There's an argument there to say that this is Shakur's division, that he is the number one lightweight in the world right now, and that you want to give him dance partners. Shakur's impressed on the whole space, that he doesn't plan on leaving 135 anytime soon. getting Lamont Roach into the conversation, fighting Shakur Stevenson, and getting him ready for 2026, you might want to reach out to Lamont Roach and work out something that makes sense to get him. And if that's the case, as a WBA champion, 130-pound champion, he should be able to leverage that into putting him right into the conversation of that WBA title without Tank being there. And I think the Schofield fight just makes sense. I don't know how they're going to facilitate it, but it just seems like the fight to make sense. I don't know if you want to let Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, I guess you could let Oscar De La Hoya do it, but is the money going to be there? Is the money going to be there for Lamont? Yeah, let Oscar do it. Let's see what Oscar thinks. Listen, Oscar, if you're watching this is a fight to make, brother. So, especially if you want to get in the conversation of Tank Davis, the fight to make is your fight, Schofield Jr. versus Lamont Roach. That is a fight to make. That's a common opponent. With Tank, it's just as important for Shakur to make the fight happen as well, except, Lamont, you could become a champion. You could become the WBA champion and could be involved in unification title fights. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it just makes sense to me, right? Like, the Isaac Cruz fight, commercial-wise, is bigger, right?
Right, definitely.
But the Schofield fight is more important because to me it leads to bigger fights in the future. And like you said, if you fight Floyd Schofield, you beat Floyd Schofield, right? And obviously, we hypothetically speaking, we don't know what's going to happen in the fight, right? But he'll be the favorite, right? I'm sure.
Right.
So you beat Floyd Schofield, and now you went and have connections with Turkey Al-Sheikh. He's gonna give you the bag, and now you unify the belts with Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Big money, big unification.
And check it, right, Clay? You can get the Floyd Schofield fight in November.
Yes.
Right, and get Shakur. It's keeping you active. You'll get Shakur probably March?
Yeah, March.
Yeah.
April, yeah.
And Shakur wants to fight Lamont Roach. So it's not like, and then you got the belt. And then guess what? If you get Floyd Schofield and beat him, get the belt, now you're a 2-division champion.
You can become undisputed now. It can happen. You can become undisputed now because I don't think you'll have a hard time making the fights happen with Abdullah Mason, which is another huge fight right there, magazine ambassador, easy for Turkey to put together, or get the fight with Raymond Moratala as well, or get him involved, or even get Abdullah Mason and Raymond Moratala in unification title fight, or get Andy Cruz to fight Raymond Moratala. If Andy can take it for Raymond Moratala, then we got big fight. Tank is always, shout out to the fans, the boxing fans who ain't going to like the truth that we're going to be talking about today. But the reality is that Tank has been the issue at 135. I'm sorry. He's been the most uncooperative. He's talking about retiring, and he's holding a belt. When you're talking about that division unifying, becoming undisputed, Tank has been the most indifferent in that conversation. He's been the outside guy who's shown no interest in being the inside guy. Granted, he's the bigger purse, he's the bigger show, he's the bigger everything. He's the face of boxing. He's the A side. He's the big deal, but he's also been the most indifferent with boxing. So
he's holding up the division.
He 100% is. So this I almost said opportunity, right? And maybe it is opportunity, but I don't want to say that because I don't wish Tank. What's happening to Tank, I don't wish it on Tank. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is you use this moment to do something with that WBA title. There's an argument there to say that you push 135 forward in a real positive direction. If you're able to get that title, even in a recess status, right, it's still a good look for the division. And it forces Tank, when he comes back into the division, to fight champions and at a high level, or fight without a belt to actually get the belt taken from him.
And you're right, Clay. It's an opportunity. Because guess what, Clay? It makes your stop. If let's say he goes through this gauntlet, right?
Right.
Because he can do this in a timely manner. right? Where he can fight Floyd Schofield in November. He can fight Shakur in March or April.
Yup.
Right? Maybe in February. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is a stretch,
Maybe.
but March or April, right? And now,
For sure.
if you beat Shakur or Abdullah Mason or whoever, you unify the belts, right? Your stock, you justified. Now Tank is back. Will be. I'm praying that all goes well and he's back in the mix and everything, right? Now, the demand for you to fight Tank is going to get even bigger.
Bigger and less wiggle room for Tank, because now Tank is going to have to either be a big prize fighter without a belt. Let's say he comes back and he says, "I don't care. I still don't want to fight Shakur. Who is he? What has he accomplished?" If he's still on that argument, well, okay. Well, Tank gets to be that big star fighter like a Jake Paul of some sort. He gets to move in that direction. 135 still continues to move crazy. We got champions. We got unified champions. We got big titles. And Turkey, if you're watching this, and you should be watching this. If you're not, I don't know why you're not. But if you're watching this, you get 135 under your belt. You got all the pieces. You got the relationship with Oscar. So you got the relationship with Top Rank. You got Raymond Moratala. You got access to Raymond Moratala. You got access to Abdullah Mason. He's an ambassador for you. You have Shakur Stevenson. You go ahead and you get Lamont Roach involved in the conversation. Lamont Roach could work out a deal with Lou DeCubas in the PBC. He could do it. Lou DeCubas is partnered with Turkey. The only piece that's volatile, that's is Tank Davis. And he's put himself in a situation to where if the WBA cooperates, and if the WBA, it's all about them, right? Like, if you want that belt in the lightweight division to get money off of Turkey, that 3%, Tank is not willing to do it as of what we can tell right now. You can get that belt in the conversation by putting him in recess and getting Lamont Roach and Floyd Schofield, ordering that fight. If you order that fight, then somebody has to bid on that fight. That's a big fight. It puts Lamont Roach right where you want to put him. And, Schofield Sr. will get to talk a whole lot of crap, but and let's see if he can back it up. We'll have a WBA champion who can compete and get in the conversation of unifications at 135. It's chess, not checkers.
And Clay, that's a bigger opportunity for Floyd Schofield to prove that you can do what Tank couldn't do, and you get in the belt. And then guess what? It puts you back in conversation because, like you said, it was vice versa, right? If you Schofield and you beat Lamont Roach, well, guess what? The demand for you to fight Shakur and Shakur to fight you goes up. The demand for Tank to fight you goes up, and the demand for Abdullah Mason, it goes up. We hypothetically believe that Abdullah Mason is going to beat Sam Dawes, right?
Abdullah Mason and Floyd Schofield have the history. You know what I mean? Shakur and Floyd Schofield have the history. Hey, I know Floyd Schofield, by the way.
I'll be right back. Go to the bathroom real quick.
No doubt. I know that your son, in my opinion, I don't know. I believe your son is dealing with the weight cut at 135. I believe he's a big 135-pounder, and I believe on any given Sunday he's ready to go to 140. And I know that you don't like the rehydration clause and the weight cut rules that the WBC have implemented as far as the 7, 14, 30 day, the 30, 14, 7-day rule, where 30 days wait, 14 days wait, 7 days wait. You don't like it. Well, if you go ahead and pursue this fight with Lamont Roach and we can get the WBA to order this, you can become a champion. Now, all your conversations at 135, unification time conversations, the fight with Shakur starts to make sense. All these fights start to make a lot more sense. Push for this right here to be made. Floyd Schofield Jr., Lamont Roach. That's a way more important fight. Now, Lamont, you can get this money with Isak without a doubt. You can get this money. But I think if you look at the bigger picture and you really believe in what you can do, the big bag is to get on a Turkey stage in a Ring Magazine situation The big bag is getting in front of Shakur Stevenson as a champion to unify. That's the big bag. It all depends on how you look at it. It all depends on how they want to look at it over there. I wouldn't allow. I think the next key move for Lamont Roach is two things. A, get into the good graces of Ludacubus and see if Ludacubus wants to give you a deal that makes sense. And B, Ludacubus at that point needs to go ahead and campaign towards the WBA to order a mandatory between Floyd Schofield Jr. and Lamont Roach. Am I crazy? I'm probably doing a lot. I can't see none of the chat right now. No, hold on. Can I see the chat? Yeah, I can see the chat. I think it's the move, man. I think it's the move. What we got going on in the chat? I can't even see it. Let me see. Oh, everybody's saying Tank is the beast. Okay. Yeah, Tank is the beast. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. I want to see what they're going to do with the division. But, I mean, look, Cruz versus Lamont Roach, I mean, on paper, it sounds like an exciting, entertaining fight. But in my opinion, insignificant. I don't think it does anything. I don't think it moves the needle at all at 135 at all. I think it's just another, it's another fight. It's just another fight. It's not nothing special. And I think it's a fight Lamont Roach can lose. I don't think he will. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think he'll lose that fight. But it's a fight where it's just like, you're not building, in my opinion, on the momentum you built for yourself. I think you take the opportunity to become a champion at 135. I think that says a lot more. I think it gives a lot more, in my opinion. That's what I believe. Salute YG Knight in the building. Salute to respect. I can't. I missed it. I'm driving, so I'm not playing with my phone, and I'm passing two cops over here. Hello, chat server. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's that part. Let me see here. Dominic W says Roach got lucky last, but if Tank stay focused, get his head on the right, he will be a problem. Yeah, look, Tank has all of the intangibles. He's a superstar. He's a great boxer. But yeah, that part you just said there about his head getting right, yeah, bro. Until that happens, it doesn't make any sense to really put him in the conversation, especially at this point right now, presently with what we know. Let me see here. When you get the belt, you got more leverage. 100%, Dennis. 100%. XO says, I really want to see Edwin back in the mix. Edwin De Los Santos has got to take. Edwin needs to go to 140. He's not part of the 135 conversation as far as I'm concerned. If he puts himself in it, that's on him, but he really needs to be up there at 140. If I was Edwin De Los Santos, I'd double back on Frank Martin. I'd double back on Frank Martin and look to make something happen at 140 and get into the conversation. Keyshawn is up there at 140 now. There's a lot going on 140. That's where I believe Edwin belongs. But if he wants to hang out at 135, that's his business. I don't see where he fits in to the top.
Salute Big Herm in the super chat. He said Turkey said Tio and Kid Austin same boat. Bad seeds. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it's true. That's what. Yeah, we were talking about that a little earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But Schofield, because of the WBA, because of where he is in the WBA conversation, you can't get around him too much. He's really next up on paper to fight Tank Davis. The one thing that Lamont Roach has that he can leverage is he's a champion at 130 in the WBA. He can leverage that to get into the conversation and make it an issue to where it's like, all right, well, Floyd Schofield has to fight somebody, become a champion. Why not allow Lamont Roach, who was right there, not only as a champion for 130, but also being the guy who's supposed to fight Tank next? It kind of makes sense to put that together. I just think the Cruz conversation is an adorable conversation, but I don't know if it moves the needle for me. Like that. Obviously, there's some money there, so I'm assuming that's why Lamont is saying, "Don't be shocked." He's trying to figure it out.
Yeah, because he's the bigger commercial fight.
100%.
And the PBC is offering it up as a consolation prize to not get in the Tank fight because they know what's going on with Tank.
Yeah. I agree 100%. As far as Andy Cruz, I see somebody mention Andy Cruz. Listen, man, these guys are coming together. 135 is getting nice. I'm liking the weather. You know what I mean? The forecast is looking good for 135. Just a couple of volatile pieces that we just don't know what's going to happen. And I think the biggest one right now, obviously, is Tank. As far as Andy Cruz is concerned, I'd be looking more if I was him to get at Raymond Mortala. The Shakur fight, if Shakur's coming back early 2026, Andy should fight before that. He shouldn't be looking to fight Shakur Stevenson next, unless Shakur is willing to fight him this year. Andy needs to get a tune-up fight that makes sense. I like Andy Cruz versus like a Giovanni or a Joe Cordina. You know what I'm saying? One of those two guys right there, I would like to see him in there with, and then, you know, get yourself in line to fight Raymond Mortala next. And let's see him and Shakur fight unification status-wise summertime, 2026.
Yeah, Andy got to be fast-tracked because he's 30. Dennis Ashby, brother in the super chat, he says, salute, Blue Blood Clay, keep cooking. Keep cooking, y'all. I stay full. And stay full. Salute, family.
No doubt.
Now, my thing with this situation with Tank, right, Claire, is that this judge in Baltimore, she got it out for him. If he got to stand in front of her again, she's not going to be lenient more than likely, because she had it out for him from the beginning.
Right.
And again, I'm not being insensitive to the victims in the case, in the situation, but this judge wants to make an example out of him. Clearly.
I mean, he's giving her the ammo, Blue. He's giving her the ammo. I can't even look at her. I can't look at her any kind of way as far as the judge is concerned. You're making it too easy. And it really depends on what the girl says. If she's willing to dial back and pull back away from the charges like she did last time, you know, this can go away pretty quickly. But I can't be mad at the judge, because the judge is got definitely a personal vendetta. You know, conveniently enough, she's a woman, so we don't know, you know, and I don't know how real or not real or true or not true it is. You know what I mean? I'm not so. I know that she did what she did with the toothbrush last time, and she took it back and said, you know what I mean? But I don't know if that time wasn't true, and she wasn't just protecting the bag and the fact that this is her baby's father, and, you know, she doesn't want to derail him and make him broke and put him in a position where he can't make money, because he's ultimately taking care of his child and her as well. We don't know where it's at. And as far as the judge is concerned, she might be looking at him like you know what I mean?
My question is, even if she takes it back, it's already still violation of his probation.
Yeah.
Even if she walks it back, right? Like, they could be like, okay, but he still was arrested while on probation. That's where the problem comes in.
Yeah. I mean, look, if he ends up in a situation where he ends up getting locked up, bro, he's out of the conversation, man. It is what it is. He's gonna come out to a new division. The 135 division has been getting used to and getting itself used to not getting caught up on Tank. If you just pay attention to the landscape, they've eliminated Tank from the conversation. Shakur's not talking about him, except for, you know, the biggest fight, and that's the fight I want to make. He's doing that because it is true, but the reality is everybody's ready to move forward without him. And this right here, just like I said, it might be a convenient thing for a division that's really trying to figure out how to deal with this, because he's such a big star. He's such a big influence in the boxing space. You can't really have a conversation at 135 without him, but he may have voluntarily removed himself out of it to where the space just has to deal with it, and it'll move forward without him. It's unfortunate, you know what I'm saying? But it's just the truth at the same time, man. Your mother. Yup.
Big Harm, my brother in the super chat. Shakur will fight Mason or Andy Cruz soon, or both. I think that Shakur is gonna wait for Abdullah Mason to be last. I think that he'll let him build up, and he's gonna wait for him to be last. He'll look to fight. He'll look to fight against Andy Cruz. The storyline, right? His relationship with Keyshawn, Andy Cruz, that whole thing. The fact that he's even mentioning Andy Cruz continuously now, all of a sudden, tells me that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the same
I think
time,
Andy Cruz or number one or number 2 or 3 in the WBC rankings, where he's high in them rankings. Cruz.
Yeah, he is. But Shakur continued to put him in the top 3 guys he want to fight. Tells me that he sees the storyline. You know what I'm saying? Because he hasn't beaten anybody, and I know that he's like, well, he's the only guy that can play chess with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the only guy who give him that cerebral energy that he would have gotten, let's say, from a Lomachenko. He can get that from this Andy Cruz fight without a doubt.
Right.
Yeah. And
Teasy says 17 said Andy Cruz is Shakur's mandatory.
There it is.
No, he's not. No, he's not, because he's Raymond Mortala's mandatory.
Right, but he's also number 1. He's kind of starting. Andy Cruz in this situation is kind of like Williams Zepeda to a degree.
Did WBC order that? T-Bugs, what's up, family?
Difference. They didn't order it. That's the only difference. That's what I was gonna say. He's ranked up there, but he's not a mandatory.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they didn't officially put him in that position yet.
Yeah. And I don't know that they would.
Right.
I mean, they might if Raymond Mortala cries enough, because he already got the IBF to agree to let him get a somewhat of a tune-up, right? A stay busy fight. So that already pushes it out there. Eddie Hearn may just push. Eddie Hearn knows Shakur is going to do something bad to Andy. You know what I'm saying? So he might want to get a unification going before he gets. So I don't know. They might just wait it out. Like I said, I could see Andy Cruz fighting against a Joe Cordina just to keep busy. Get him on a Joe Cordina card and get him on a Riyadh or a Ring Magazine card. Let's get that squared away, because Joe Cordina is right over there with Matchroom, and he's right over there in the UK. Let's get Andy Cruz out to the UK. He can fight Joe Cordina. He looked decent in his last fight. You know what I'm saying? Joe Cordina has been promised opportunities at 135, so here's an opportunity for him to take a spot. I think he's in the WBO conversation, though, Joe Cordina. I feel like he's got a WBO, a version of the WBO belt, I think. So there's always that. So there's always him and Abdullah Mason later on. I don't know, but you get him a tune-up fight and get him ready to fight Raymond Mortala in early 26.
Raymond Mortala, man, I don't like they're giving him a pass. He should have to fight Andy Cruz.
100%.
Because you already got a pass. You got the belt handed down. Well, he beat what's his name again?
If it wasn't Tevin, it was it wasn't Tevin. It was, he beat Tevin though. But if that's not the fight that did it for him, it was
the guy Abdullayev.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Zaro Abdullayev. Yeah.
And then you beat Zaire Abdullayev, right? But then Lomachenko retires.
Yeah. So you get elevated. So you haven't really fought. I mean, Zaro was a good opponent though. That was a good fight. I mean, that was damn near a 50-50 fight. Abdullayev is nice like that. Yeah, I mean, look, if you're gonna get a tune-up fight, who's it gonna be against? At the same time, like, who you talking about fighting? It better be somebody at least top 10. Who you gonna give the opportunity to?
And this should be the official fight for the belt.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Boris says, so you're saying he's an email champ? Yeah, I am, essentially.
I mean, that's what the rules say. That's not calling you a name. That's just.
Yeah, I like the fact that he beat Zaire Abdullayev, but come on.
Yeah.
Like you should have to be like, all right, you got to fight Andy Cruz, bro. You got to, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Walt Easy. I hope I don't know. I'm driving. I can't read it, but yeah, that would be a great story. There's a great story there, without a doubt. But you know, unifications are always so much better looking than anything. And honestly, Andy Cruz needs a belt, because outside of that, he doesn't deserve to be in the conversation with these people, because he's got like 6 fights as a professional, 5, 6 fights. Like, it's just hard to make. You know, give him a belt, get him in a situation where you can get him a belt. Now, when he's fighting against Shakur or fighting, you know, these unifications, maybe against Abdullah Mason or even a Lamont Roach Schofield Jr. winner, you know, these fights start to make sense in the spirit of unifying the division. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. That's my whole thing. Like, let's move the division. Let's move. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, keep it moving.
Right.
Raymond, he was talking about getting Loma. You ain't getting Loma. Now you got to fight somebody, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Give us the Shakur, Abdullah Mason. I can see them trying to go that route. G tatted up. What up, nephew? I can see them trying to go the route with Top Rank, the Abdullah Mason, Raymond Mortala situation.
Mm-hmm.
But no, come on, man. Let's move let's keep the oil, you know, the tires moving.
Yeah, I think that Turkey now has 2 fighters officially under his belt within Shakur and Abdullah Mason. He has enough interest in the 135-pound division. I think he should jump on this. And once again, I hate to call it an opportunity, or you know what I mean, or you know, make it convenient, because you know Tank is going through what he's going through. I hope he figures that out.
A misfortune, an opportunity.
Right, but this is an opportunity for Turkey to make a move right now. Work it out with Ludacubus. Get Lamont Roach on the phone. Let's get a conversation. Let's see if we can get you a title, bro. We can do this. You can leverage that and it frees up 130. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. It clears up 130 as well.
You know,
my thing is this, right? We need to seize the moment, because we never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
While we wait. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
While we waiting, man, let's not wait. Let's seize the opportunity, seize the moments.
Yeah.
We have to, like, and if you Lamont Roach and Floyd Schofield right now, Shakur's taking this mini hiatus. Tank is not in the picture. Capitalize.
Yeah.
Now is the time to capitalize. Now is the time to, hey, let me jump on this opportunity.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And then, because they'll be back in the picture next year.
100% with a title.
Right. It's the perfect situation, right, Clay? Because it's like you don't have the pressure of Tank and Shakur right now in the division.
Right.
So if you Abdullah Mason not fighting till November, right?
Yeah, he's fighting November 22nd.
Yep. Yeah. And for whatever reason, right, Clay? Even if he beats, which I expect him, I'm pretty sure you expect him to beat Sam. He wins that fight, right? I just don't see them fast tracking Abdullah. Like, I just feel like he's gonna get a title defense, right? Like, he's not really in a conversation like to unify the belts. Do you get that feeling? Like, I just don't feel like. I feel like he's, even though he'll be a champion, he's still in the developmental, in their brain, right? Like in the promotion brain, like the feeling I get is like he's still in this developmental stage where he wins the title, but we ain't gonna push him into unification. We're gonna give him a defend the title. You know, I could see him defending the title against Edwin De Los Santos. You know what I'm saying? Defending the title, or if it is a unification, it'll be Raymond Muratalla, right? Somebody where they can control the room, right? You know what I mean? To a degree, right? And they keep it in house. They don't need Turkey for that, right? Top rank Bob Arum. They can put that They can put Raymond Muratalla versus Abdullah Mason at Madison Square Garden, like they do on Xander Zayas Saturday, right?
Right.
And it doesn't call for 50,000. I mean 50 million bucks to pay this guy. It don't call for that.
Right.
And then Abdullah Mason, because I'm favoring him to beat Raymond Muratalla, so I'm gonna say Abdullah Mason. You beat Raymond Muratalla, you unify the belts. Now it's on. You know what I'm saying? Now it's on, right? Now you in a place where you unified the belts. You got the experience over in the UK. You beat a Raymond Muratalla, unify the belts. Now we not looking back no more, right? Now it's Shakur Stevenson, it's Tank Davis, it's the names now. You know what I'm saying? Do you get that feeling, Kendra? What's up, family? Arkan Mufak, what's up?
I get the feeling that there's definitely gonna be, because you can't, Top Rank is still a big part of this conversation, and Top Rank likes to move their fighters a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
But you got Turkey, who also wants to move in a certain way, and I think you have a motivated Abdullah Mason who's looking to take advantage of every bit of opportunity. I mean, his last interview that I saw him doing, shout out to Najee with Cigar Talk, did a great interview with Abdullah Mason. And Abdullah kind of confirmed what I already knew in my mind, that, becoming a champion, the legacy of the sport is so important to him, but also he understands that the weight of his family's future is on his shoulders. He wants to capitalize on whatever opportunities are here right now. He's not betting on tomorrow, he's betting on today. So there's going to be a push back and forth, I think, where if Turkey decides like, yo, I want to get you unified, I want to see an undisputed champion in the lightweight division, I think Abdullah's going to be right on board. And I don't know that Bob Arum has the leverage he did when he was, when he was secure in his network deal with ESPN. Where's Bob Arum going this summer? I'm assuming this fight coming up this weekend, it should be the last fight on that ESPN deal, right? It should be done after the Xander Zayas and Chushu Carrington card that's getting ready to pop off. So I think Bob Arum is going to be a lot more open-minded to what Turkey wants to do. And Turkey's already communicated in multiple interviews that, listen, man, I'm interested in what I'm interested in, and what I'm not interested in, I'm not. So, like he said on the interview, this is not a charity. He said that to be very honest about, I'm not getting involved in tune-up fights and developmental fights. I want the biggest fights possible to be made, and I want to stack cards. I think it's very realistic to say that Turkey is interested in Abdullah Mason being involved in a unified fight. He's a Ring Magazine ambassador. He's a Ring Card ambassador. Turkey has vested interest in Abdullah Mason's brand. So that being said, yeah, bro, I can see Abdullah Mason going after Raymond Muratalla and getting a big bag. I can see Raymond Muratalla being offered $1 million or $2 million guaranteed to get in the ring with Abdullah Mason. Or I could see, these other conversations happening. And I think the big fight at and I think Abdullah Mason's a big 135 pounder, just like I think Floyd Schofield's a big 135 pounder. So don't be shocked if, he'll take it. But I wouldn't be shocked to see Abdullah Mason unify, and if he can't get the unification fight, get offered a big bag by Turkey to go fight at 140.
Mm.
It can happen. I mean,
1,000%. 1,000%. I just, well, Abdullah Mason, I just hope they don't move him too fast, right?
Yeah.
I would like to see him. I know he's spectacular. He getting these knockouts. He looked good, but I still see things that he could work on.
Facts. He needs to get in there with some boxers. Before he gets in there with Shakur or even Andy Cruz, I want him to revisit the Giovanni Cabrera, or I want to see him in there with a Joe Cordino. I want to see him in there with the likes of I think Sam Noakes is he's getting funneled into that Edgar Berlanga situation where he's only being exposed to a certain kind of fighter. But I mean, still high level fighting. But he gets in there with Andy, he gets in there with Shakur, even with a Lamont Roach. It can be hard for him if he doesn't.
Right.
That's
that's why I said I will much rather. And salute Stormy B Man Triple OG. What's up, family? I can see him competing with those guys, right? But in the same token, I would like me personally, like you said, you beat Sam Noakes, right? Giovanni Cabrera, I like that.
Yeah.
Defend the title against him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or if you want to step it up, I like Edwin because he's a boxer puncher, right? Explosive boxer puncher, right? But again, he kind of, like you said, right, Clay? He hasn't been in there with just a boxer, a thinker.
Right.
Right? And so Giovanni Cabrera, he represents that. Tall, lanky, rangy, right? You got to figure him out. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm hoping that they don't fast track him after this and be like, hey, you gonna unify the belts against, you know what I mean? Because he beat Sam Noakes, he got the belt. That's for sure gonna be the conversation.
Right, but they'll give him a homecoming. His next fight he's looking to make after that is in Ohio. He wants to go home. I don't think they put on a unification fight in Ohio. I think they try to make that a bigger fight, whether it's in Riyadh or whether it's in a big, somewhere in New York. They seem to have a good relationship with the New York State Athletic Commission. They're making fights over there. They want to put those unification fights on a big stage. He'll get a tune-up. He'll get a tune-up. He'll get a stay busy fight. He'll get one. I believe he will. He wants to go home to Ohio, and I think he deserves it. And the man's been so active, and he's a potential next big star in boxing. I love the way he carries himself, man. I really do. Love the way that guy carries himself.
Would you want to see if he goes to Ohio? And I'm not slighting anybody, but you go back home, that should be the Giovanni Cabrera fight.
100%. Giovanni Cabrera or Joe Cordina. You can do Joe Cordina too. I'm cool with Joe Cordina.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I prefer the Cabrera fight because of his height, the difficulty, you know what I'm saying, the range, you know what I mean? That's why CB45, what's up, family? That's why I would prefer that fight. You know what I'm saying? Just because of his range, his boxing ability, his experience, you know what I mean? I like the Joe Cordina fight as well, but I just think that Cabrera just represents a more difficult challenge in the boxing aspect.
Right.
And I think that's more of a puzzle for him to have to figure out. He'll have to think more with that fight. That's why I would prefer that fight.
100% before he gets in the ring with Raymond Moritalo or Andy Cruz or Tank Davis, God forbid, or Shakur Stevenson. He's got big fights ahead of him. They need to get him together. They need to get him ready.
Right, exactly. And that's my stand. That's my point. Like you got challenges to answer questions for the test when you actually have the real official test in front of you.
Right.
And if you Lamont Roach right now, Shakur's sitting high right now. He's sitting pretty, right? Because he's in a position where it's like, hey, bro, I proved myself. You know what I'm saying? I stood in the pocket. I was exciting. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to do that right now. You know I could do it.
Right.
I did it against a high volume puncher, a high volume fighter. I ain't got to do it no more. You know what I'm saying? He's and Tank is like out of the picture.
Right. Right. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree, man. I think this Tank situation, though, that's how I look at it. As far as whatever he's going through with that personal situation, for me, it's like, all right, well, what do we do about 135? Does the division hold up and wait on him? What do you do? I mean, you got Lamont Roach and both Floyd Schofield who are in the conversation, and Lamont is held up. Why should he have to go fight a fight that means nothing to him? The Isak Cruz fight is just a money fight that they're selling to him. You know what I mean? They're selling Lamont that fight. They're calling him up like, yo, we got a fight. We want to do Isak. Once again, you know, the PBC trying to keep fights over on their side of the street, trying to facilitate what they have access to facilitate. Easier fight to be made. But Lamont, I'd encourage Lamont to look outside the box a little bit and understand that all his opportunities aren't just under the roof of the PBC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to take full advantage of what's presenting to you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Big Hearn brother in the super chat. Turkey will get Mason beat soon at this level. That's what I'm saying. I just don't want him to move too fast. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just don't move him too fast. Move him, you know what I'm saying, in a timely manner where he can get the experience, because we see it's more so defense, right?
Right.
But when you look at Abdullah Mason, right? Just the questions is like getting clipped, getting dropped, you know what I mean? Things of that nature. So King Swisher said you a hater.
Yeah. It's cool.
Okay. Who's a hater, King Swisher? Would like to know.
Yeah, see, King Swisher, you don't have a legitimate. If this is about Tank, which I'm sure it is, because 9 out of 10 times y'all the one doing what you're doing right there. Nobody him, but why hold up the division? Somebody who didn't even want to sign the contract to make the fight in the first place. You weren't going to get that fight August 16th, right? You weren't going to even get that fight because he didn't even sign the contract. He's shown no interest in fighting Shakur or fighting these other fights. He shows no interest in working with Turkey, the person who can facilitate the fight. The PBC can't get him to move to the drum of their beat even. Well, to the beat of their drum even, sorry. Why hold the division up? What would it hurt to allow Lamont Roach and Floyd Schofield Jr. to fight for a WBA title, and if you want, put Tank in recess. So when he comes back, he can get in the conversation where he wants to get in. He can either get back in the fight in the winner between Lamont Roach and Floyd Schofield, or he can do what he's been doing, which is picking the fights he wants to fight. You know what I'm saying? He could be like, you know what? I'm going to go fight Jake Paul, or he can go and say, I'm going to go fight Teofimo, or he could say, you know, he can do anything he wants to do, and he doesn't have to even worry about the sanctioning body 3% anymore, because he said, you know, the belts don't mean nothing, which I think for him, they don't mean nothing. Not only from his perspective, but in reality, he don't need the belts. He can still make the biggest fights and make a whole bunch of money just making fights. He doesn't need the belts. But why hold up the 35-pound division as far as unification is concerned, as far as undisputed? Why?
Yeah, because like you said, right? In all reality, for Tank, let's be truthful. The belts is making him lose money because he got to pay sanction fees.
100%.
He don't need the belts to do anything. He ain't trying to unify, don't need to unify. He ain't worried about legacy, right? So, if anything, him having the belt is just money out his pocket for no reason.
Yeah.
It's not doing anything for him. Nothing. Salute to my brother GHB TV, Greg Hackett in the building. What's good with your family?
What's good? What's good, family? Yeah, so it makes no difference.
Right. It does make a difference, right, Clay? Because he paying money.
Yup.
For no reason.
Yup. Yeah.
Because he don't need the belts. He really don't.
He don't need the belts, man. Let the division move forward, bro.
Yeah.
He's talking about retiring. He's talking about fighting Jake Paul. He's talking about everything but fighting Shakur or fighting, you know, even Abdullah Mason or at the time Keyshawn Davis when he was champion. He's shown no interest in doing that, and he doesn't. I'm okay with it, but why hold the division?
Clay, think about this, Clay. Think about this. Just let this sink in. He won the regular belt in 2019. He's had that belt since 2019. In 2023, he got elevated to the super champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
He ain't defended against one mandatory.
Yeah.
I won.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and they are just attaching themselves to him for financial gain. Let's be real.
Facts.
Because they should have been stripped him.
Facts,
He
bro.
don't care nothing about no title defenses, no mandatories, none of that.
He really doesn't. And I say it with respect. Like, this is how I feel he feels. So it doesn't hurt him or derail him for that belt to put him in a champion in recess gives him an opportunity to come back and get back in. If he does change his mind, he gets to come back as a and get right into the title conversation. He fights the winner of Lamont Roach and Boy Schofield if they if what we're thinking is what they put together. You know what I mean? And if he doesn't care about it, then he can move forward and go make the next biggest fight. He can go fight Ryan Garcia. He can go fight Teofimo Lopez. He can go fight, I don't know. He could fight Jake Paul. He can fight whoever he wants to fight, and it's all good. It's all good, but the lightweight division gets to move forward. Unifications get to happen. And like I said, Turkey Al-Sheikh now has enough vested interest into the 135-pound division where he can look at this as an opportunity to go ahead and move the needle in the division. Because now he has Shakur and he has Abdullah. He can make the right chess move. The next move is best move, and he can put that division in the conversation of real unifications and even ultimately undisputed.
Yeah, it just to me is like it's a hold up for no reason. L Dub, the boxing plug in the building. What's up, family? Old school fanatic. What's up, family? Tank violated his probation, and so many people on that side believe that he can very well be headed back to jail because this judge in Baltimore, he violated that probation. On the mic, my brother Terrence Bailey Sr. What's up, family? And
Sammy, whatever your name is, you're a moron, right? So, and look, without the tension in my voice, I'm not trying to get into with you, but you're a dumbass, right? And why are you a dumbass? Now, I'm not just calling you that. I'm going to tell you why you're a dumbass. You're a dumbass because I never said Tank asked for Jake Paul, right? I think we all understand across the boxing space that what was circulating was that there was a fight potentially being answered, right? So I'm saying if he wants to entertain that, he can. But you're a moron, right? I can only imagine what you probably look like, but you're an idiot. So lackey, co-host, all that nonsense you're talking about, tune out, bro. Bounce.
Yeah,
your favorite creators out there giving you the copy information you want. You're a moron, though. Don't ever get that confused. Don't let nobody lie to you and tell you you're not, because you're not going to improve as a person if you can't own your own shortcuts.
Yeah, the thing is, people keep saying that. I don't get it. Like, I don't know why people just. Well, Tank never said, bro. Tank never said he was rematching Lamont Roach. Where did you see that at? But we know it was going to happen because you don't have to hear it from Tank. Not so smart guy. Right. You can. We know people in the camps. You know the managers. You know the promoters. What are you talking about? They're the ones that make the fights. So yes, Tank was going to fight Jake Paul. Yes, he was. They was going to announce it after the Lamont Roach fight. Yes, he was.
And everybody who makes that a big deal every time we bring that up, I want to acknowledge that you guys realize how stupid that fight is too, right? So if that fight ever does get announced, stand on business. And don't let me see none of y'all talking about, well, yeah, Anthony Joshua fought Francis Ngannou. You didn't say nothing. Tyson Fury fought Francis Ngannou when Floyd fought Conor McGregor. So he should be. No, you stand on that business and you let the world know how dumb that fight is and how disappointed you are in the people involved in that fight.
Yeah. So I don't understand, Sammy, when you say that. Oh, y'all some lying. Lying about what? When did you see me lie? About what? Sammy? Show me the proof. Show these people the proof. Lied about what?
And you can look good in your picture, but you can look good and stupid. You heard? Because
and furthermore,
studying how
Jake
you look
Paul,
as far as that's concerned.
Tank told you that the person he was fighting next wasn't Lamont Roach rematch. So he actually lied to you.
Yeah, right there at the press conference, he told you he not next.
Right. He said Lamont Roach ain't gonna be next no time soon. Right? But then he was getting ready to rematch Lamont Roach. So when you said somebody's lying, didn't he lie to you? Because they was getting ready to rematch. And Lamont Roach signed, and the proof is Lamont Roach signed everything. PBC was getting ready to announce the fight last Saturday. But Tank got in trouble. Not even that. Tank told you the person I'm fighting next is in my locker room. There was only 2 people in his locker room, Jake Paul and Isaac Cruz. And I told you Isaac Cruz was plan B if the Jake Paul fight fell through. They wanted to do the rematch with Isaac Cruz and Tank Davis because they like this whole Mexican versus black rivalry, and they believe that's a major selling point. Yeah, and then on top of that, Jake Paul himself came out and told you that's why he had the cardboard cutout of Tank Davis at the fight. Why you think he had that at the fight? When you seen Jake Paul's ringside at Tank fight, for what?
Thank you. And Jake Paul has confirmed that was in negotiation. But right. I mean, I know at the end of the day, everybody can be lying. Everybody lying. Okay. All I'm saying, I know what the problem is. Trust me, Blue. The problem is the fight don't make no damn sense. What I'm saying is, if it comes together, stand on that. Because one thing y'all don't do for nothing is hold anybody accountable. You blame everybody. You blame Turkey for David Benavidez fighting over in Riyadh. You don't blame the PBC for not putting the fight together and giving David Anthony made sense for David to fight here. You don't acknowledge the fact that the American promotional space, as far as boxing is concerned, has let you guys down. You guys don't want to get to it, and you always want to blame and point fingers. I believe personally, I'm be real with you, I'm speaking towards what Tank wants, and I'm accepting what Tank wants, and I'm saying allow him to do what he wants to do, because what I don't believe he cares to do is babysit no damn WBA titles. I think he has no problem moving and doing his own thing. He has nothing that's going to hold him up to make his money, whether it's Jake Paul, whether it's Teofimo Lopez, whether it's Ryan Garcia, whether it's any of these fights that he probably is more interested in making happen because of the money that he can make from the fights. That WBA title does not hurt him in any kind of way. If anything, it hinders him. It takes money out of his pocket. Why not allow the WBA to activate a mandatory to order a Floyd Schofield Lamont Roach fight, allow them to be champions, the winner of that to be a champion, allow Tank to be an interim champion, and if Tank, when he returns from his situation, whatever's going on in that court, when that gets ironed out, he has the freedom to do whatever he wants. He can leverage that recess title and fight the champion between Lamont Roach and Floyd Schofield, or he can just walk away from it completely and jump into those fights that he wants to get into and make the biggest amount of money. What's the problem? I don't understand. You're crying nothing. You're mad because the reality is you want him to unify. You want him to become undisputed. You want him to fight Shakur. You want him to fight the same fights that we all want to do, but you guys don't know and don't have the heart to hold him accountable and say that the only way those fights happen is if Tank calls for the fights. You don't want to acknowledge that if he wants those fights to happen, he can snap his fingers and make those fights happen just like that. So it's not about do you want the fights or not. It's about how bad do you want the fights. Do you want the fights more than you want to lick that man's dirt while he sits there and does and gives you nothing that you want? That's the truth.
Yeah, it just baffles me, bro, all the time. Like people just
that man's ass in an uncomfortable way, bro, in a way that man is not asking you. And I'll tell you, he is not asking you to do that nose up in his ass that y'all doing. It's got to be awkward for him. You got to wonder why Tank Davis never pops up on none of y'all channels or none of y'all platforms to talk to y'all. I think he knows it would just be weird to talk to y'all because you guys just make it awkward and weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You make it weird. You guys rock that man and jump all over his ear. It's disgusting, man.
Right. It's ridiculous. But let's get on out of here, Clay, man.
No doubt, family. Appreciate everybody in the building. You know what I didn't do?
Put your link in the chat.
Yeah, I never did that. I definitely never did that. Let me see here if I can still, because I never even got in here under my, hold on a second. Boom. Continue. Wait, connect, and comment. Connect. If y'all want to use you, sign and continue. Yeah, I don't know. It's acting stupid. Let me see. Yeah, it is what it is. You guys know how to get to me. I'm driving. I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into it. It is what it is. Man, salute to everybody in the building, man. Man, we got some great boxing coming up this weekend, man. Yo, I'm becoming a big fan of Shushu Khan. I've already was a fan of Shushu, but I just like the way that young bull carries himself, man. I like to hear him speak on boxing. I love to hear him analyze boxing. I love to see him fight in the ring. Yo, man, I hope he really does what he has to do this weekend. Get that interim title, man, and push it, man. Push the conversation, man. Let's see you in big unification title fights, man. I'm excited to see what Shushu got on the back end of a victory of this weekend. I'm excited to see what he got coming to him. And Xander's eyes, too. Room for him, too, man. Puerto Rico needs a redemption. Edgar Berlanga fell extra short for Puerto Rico a couple of weeks ago. Xander's eyes coming to pick up the reins, you know what I mean? The real Puerto Rican, the real pride of Puerto Rico and Xander's eyes, man. Wishing him luck and hope he does what he has to do. And let's see him push for unifications. And this young generation of champions we got between Abdullah Mason, between Xander Zayas, between Shushu Carrington, all these champions coming up that want to pursue legacy and undisputed. Man, listen, brother, I'm excited for boxing. Boxing is moving in a great space right now, bro. Real good space.
Agreed. I can't wait for this weekend, man.
Yeah, man.
I can't wait.
Shout out to Emiliano Vargas, too, man. Want to see him do great things, too, at 140.
Yeah.
I think, by the way, big fight for 140. Emiliano Vargas, Keyshawn Davis. Ooh, the Davis brothers against the Vargas brothers, bro. Yeah.
That's going to be serious. That's going to be serious right there.
It's going to be crazy. So, man, a lot of great things happening in boxing right now. I see Alexander Usyk. Oh, what's going on up here? Now, Alexander Usyk,
he got 30 days to negotiate that fight with Joseph Parker.
He's going to vacate. He's going to vacate and come back and become a 3-time undisputed champion. Joseph Parker is going to have to fight either Moses Atuma or G. Cabello. Mark my words. He's going to do him just like he did Daniel Dubois. You can have it, but I don't even need it. I'm back. 7 to 9 months, I'm coming back. I'm not. You're not. You do nothing I don't want to do. Go ahead and take the belt, just like I did with the IBF title. You know what I'm saying? And I'll see Joseph Parker or whoever wins between Joseph Parker and Moses Atama, or Moses Atama, or Ajit Cabello, and I'll come back and become a 3-weight class undisputed champion. If you make it through the gauntlet, Joseph Parker will see you in April. You heard? April, May. We'll see you then, bro.
I can see that 1,000%.
Let it happen, man.
Yeah, let's get on out of there, man. Appreciate y'all coming through, starting up, holding us down, and showing us love. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. It's your boy Blue, your boy Clay signing off. We gone. Peace.
Peace.